When you hear about oil on the news, it's usually treated like water. Just a single, uniform commodity. Barrel here, barrel there, same thing. That is completely wrong. Crude oil is not one product. It's dozens of different products with different chemical makeups and wildly different values. And right now, because of what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz, a specific type of oil, Iranian sweet crude, has gone from a heavily discounted, sanctioned product to one of the most wanted barrels on the planet. So what makes Iranian oil sweet? What does that even mean? And why does it matter to your wallet? Let's break it down. The terms sweet and sour have nothing to do with taste. In the oil industry, they refer to sulfur content. Sweet crude contains less than 0.5% sulfur. It's easier, cheaper, and safer to refine. It's less corrosive to equipment and produces higher yields of valuable products like gasoline and diesel. Sour crude contains 1 to 2% or more sulfur. Refining sour crude is expensive. Sulfur damages equipment and requires complex desulfurization units that cost billions to install. Sweet crude almost always trades at a premium to sour crude. Less sulfur means more valuable. Now here's where Iran gets interesting. Iran produces multiple grades of crude. Its flagship export, Iranian light crude, has a sulfur content of approximately 0.4 to 0.6%. That classifies it as sweet crude. To put that in perspective, benchmark Brent crude has about 0.37% sulfur. So Iranian light isn't the sweetest on the planet, but it's sweet enough to be highly desirable. But Iran also produces Iranian heavy, which contains 1.8 to 2.2% sulfur. That's solidly in sour territory. So Iran produces a range from ultra-light to heavy sour. That flexibility is something few oil producers can match. Here's the part most people miss. Refineries are not universal machines. You can't just pour any crude into any refinery and expect it to work. A refinery is designed around a specific mix of grades. Once built, the hardware locks you in. Distillation units, desulfurization units, hydrocrackers, they're all built for specific crude characteristics. A refinery configured for heavy sour crude has extensive desulfurization capacity. If you suddenly feed it light sweet crude, you underutilize equipment you paid billions for. The yield profile changes. You produce less diesel and jet fuel, the high-value products in Asian markets. You can blend different crudes to approximate your ideal slate, but that requires storage infrastructure and blending capability. It's a workaround, not a solution. This is why the Hormuz crisis is so painful. Data shows approximately 50 to 60% of Gulf crude exports are medium sour. Another 25 to 35% are heavy sour. Only 10 to 15% are light sweet. When the Strait of Hormuz effectively closed in March 2026, that medium and heavy sour supply, the backbone of Asian refining, was cut off. And Iranian crude became the must-have barrel for a simple reason: geography. Iran sits on the Strait of Hormuz. When tensions escalated, Iran effectively controlled access to the waterway. Neighboring countries' tankers were trapped, but Iranian tankers kept moving. According to shipping data, in February 2026, Iran was loading about 2.2 million barrels per day, the highest level since 2018. In March, exports only eased slightly to 1.9 million barrels per day. While other Gulf producers lost access to global markets, Iran had a monopoly on Hormuz-adjacent exports. That created an extraordinary market reversal. Before the crisis, Iranian crude traded at a steep discount, around $12 per barrel below Brent, because of sanctions. After the crisis began, that discount evaporated, then flipped. By April 2026, Iranian light into China was trading at a $1 per barrel premium to Brent. From a $12 discount to a $1 premium, that's a $13 swing. On 2 million barrels per day, that's $26 million in additional daily revenue. The oil that nobody wanted became the oil everybody needed. So let's tie this back to the real world. When you hear that Iranian oil is sweet, it means three things. First, low sulfur content, cheaper to refine. Second, light density, higher yield of gasoline and diesel. Third, strategic location, accessible when others are not. And right now, that combination has made Iranian crude the most valuable barrel in a disrupted market. But here's why this affects you. Asian refineries are desperate for medium and heavy sour crude. They are built for it. They can't easily switch to light sweet without losing efficiency. So when the Strait of Hormuz is choked, those refineries face a choice: pay premium prices or run below capacity. Either way, the cost filters down to diesel for trucks, jet fuel for airlines, gasoline for cars, and the feedstocks that become plastics and fertilizers. The sweetness of Iranian oil isn't just a technical curiosity. It's a window into how global energy markets actually work. Not as a single smooth system, but as a collection of mismatched pieces that barely fit together. When one piece is blocked, the whole machine strains. That's why the price at your local pump is connected to sulfur percentages on the other side of the planet. And that's why oil traders watch the sweetness of a barrel as closely as they watch the news.